Hey guys, so there's a bunch of brand new things I've been working on, new projects that I'm going to be coming out with art-wise. And I'm probably going to do a few more, seeing that the new Legends of Zelda is about to come out in like another month or so, and that's like my favorite video game. The hat is in all the videos I do. So I'm thinking something Zelda themed and just going to do something with that. Might be cool to include some other things in it, see what I can do with it. I really want to go all out for it since it's Zelda, the greatest game ever. Besides that, today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to draw a glass container with a fairy inside. Let's see how this turns out. I'll try and take it slower or try and just give you a little more details on the art piece so you can understand exactly what I'm going through. Doing in the sketch because of all the reflective details in a glass. It makes it a little harder to do even though it's simple. So let's see how that turns out. Okay, so let's get it started. I just want to point out that my background when I'm doing it, it's always good to start a background with a base layer. It'll just set the standards of what you're doing. The only thing is, what type of base layer should you add? I always find it useful to say, okay, what type of image am I drawing? Is it going to be a light image? Is it going to be a darker image? What kind of style is it going to be? For instance, for this one, it's going to be more of a dark setting, and I need things to look bright. So when you want things to look a little more brighter, what you want to do is go darker for the background. Or you can do a blur background, which will also help, but you want to do a blur background with darker colors. But in this instance, in this video, what I'm doing is plain black in the background with a little bit of highlights of other colors to help it stand out. So I'm going to, certain parts of the images need to be a little brighter. So instead of doing those background images in black, I'm going to trace around them. That way, as I go over them, they'll give off a lighting effect which makes them just stand out a little more from what I need. So I'm going to trace over in the background. You can see trees, you can see other glass containers and everything else, and I'm just going to trace over that because I want an exchange of lighting so that it doesn't get affected. Because if I go black and then try and draw over the black with a lighter color, it doesn't stand out as much as you might think it stands out. So I'm just going to trace around that, get around it, and add in what I need later. So as I finish up and all the stuff that I needed is traced around with the dark layer so that it helps the lighting stand out, I'll test out different lightings. I'm not just going to go in with any type of lighting. Here's a tip. I made a lot of mistakes in this last one. The lighting wasn't right for my light source. Being in the picture wise, I made a stream of light going into the glass, and that beam of light just wasn't the right colors needed. It was the right placement, but I used the wrong type of highlighter. I used a white blender that was used for certain things, and it was the wrong one. So I had to drown it out with another color, and in results, the rest of it just started to take effect from it. It just tripped it up just a little bit. But I had to work with it, so I used different things. One technique I used was a black pencil, and I took that black pencil and I shaded it so that it would match the tone I needed, because the light sourcing I needed was just faint enough for you to see it. And as I went into the glass, I was drawing out a rose, and that rose needed the same type of lighting. Basically, the effect I was looking for was a rose and then the light hitting the rose, and then you get to see beams of light shattering as it hit the rose and shooting across the glass and out the other side. So what I had to do for that was take a step back, draw out most of the rose, pinpoint where I wanted those lights, what I did to pinpoint it was I looked at the creases of the rose, and the parts that looked curved enough for light to bend through, those were the parts that I used. So as I filled in more darkness, I was able to see exactly where those spots would be and where I needed to be. Alright, in this part you can see a close-up of the glass that I'm filling. Basically I'm going black inside of it because most of the background is black. Glass is reflectant, so it's going to be showing that black. The trimming of it is just going to be showing a little more of the light source, so that would trace out the body of it. Now I am going across it and adding in those backgrounds that I said before needed to be drawn in first and then shown later on. Once again, I had to keep messing with the lighting to make sure when it hit, it was hitting the right way and came out of the rose in the right order that I needed. Otherwise, it would just fall apart. Sometimes I would hit it perfectly, but as you go in and you're adjusting, you can easily just mess it up all over again. So then you have to go over it again, see what works again, and then do it that way. Just don't get discouraged from it, because accidents do happen when you're doing art, and some things work perfectly and some things don't. But at least it did work out in the end for me. I was able to do the lighting the way I wanted it. Not totally the way I wanted it, but in a way where people can understand the art piece. And that's where it really, takes form, is where people can look at it and say, wow, I know what he was going for. This is amazing. What he's doing is amazing. And that's what counts. So inside of the glass, besides the rose, is a nice little fairy. So basically, after I had drawn out the fairy, I was able to get certain details in the hair and everything else to complement the light that was coming into the glass. And as I went in, I went over the wings, and I wanted the wings of the fairy to be transparent, so I kept them dark to a point. Certain parts of them, I made sure that you could see the light sourcing, tracing the shape out of the wing. And then inside the wing, I went ahead and made it look transparent by adding it dark in certain spots. As I went over the second wing, I made sure that the wing that's on top lets more light in where the second wing is, and make it look like it's two wings from there, and they're both transparent, but you can still see faintly the other wing since it's double layered. As I went in, I did everything I could to help the piece stand out, so I put rose petals on the outsides of it and everything like that. It worked. Everything worked perfectly. Just when you're doing stuff like this, pay attention. I did have a reference for it, which was great and awesome, and I was able to use that reference to see exactly what I needed to do in the sketch itself. Okay guys, the video is over. I'm covered in ink from another piece that I'm working on. It's going to be a segment of 12 pieces for zodiac signs, and I am busting my butt as fast as I can to get these out to you. Unfortunately, even though I'm going to finish all 12 now, I'm going to put them and just show them in segments of each zodiac sign, so you're not going to be able to see exactly all of them. There'll still be content loaded. These pieces just will be loaded within their signs. So the first one I'm doing right now, I already have a Capricorn sketch, and this next one is a Aquarius, and so on from there. But I'm going to make sure you see them at the month they're supposed to be in and try and do it at that pace. I will, however, try and show the pics that are finished on my Instagram page and on my Facebook page, so you'll be able to see them there. There's just the videos themselves won't be up until the time they're supposed to, which I guess is a benefit to you. You get to actually see what I'm working on. I hope you all like things for you. I'm going to be doing a lot of tutorials, a lot of new styles of art, just mingling things together just to try and make it more entertaining, or try and do something that you might like, or show you how to do things you wanted to do with art. So hopefully you like my future art pieces. Some of them may be a little risky, some might not, but I just wanted to do something that just steps over the line and takes risks. So hopefully they'll be great for you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I'll make sure that I get more content to you. See you next time.